most of y'all who are watching this, no matter what time of day it is, morning, evening, night, all the salutations apply. So, Miko, how are you doing today?
All is well, man. You know, it is an honor to have you sitting next to me during this very, very milestone moment in our company's history. You play a huge part of that. You know, thanks to our partnership with you, that's how we was able to start the media division of Meak Productions and stuff like that. And then, of course, we made history with your company by becoming y'all's first LGBT liaison. So
it's a lot of things that we look at where Meak Productions has been, where it's going, and how everything came back to the forefront. And the one thing I was very proud of was after the various Artist Talent Showcase came out, then you was able to do a video series about that. That was the pilot that you were trying to get, that you were shopping around.
Mm-hmm.
Then in 2013, you unveiled the LGBT Career Fair in Expo during Black Pride. That was something that you always wanted to do then as well.
Which is the interesting thing about that. And I think I appreciate you bringing this as part of the introduction, because it feels good to actually kind of go over that history, because media was one of the main foundations that really helped us to get the brand out. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, even during the time when we had just recently started the talent agency campaigns, which now this year is in its 10th anniversary, you know, because it's, you know, that's why it's so ironic that we are celebrating 2 anniversaries this year. This year, you know, the 10th anniversary of our talent agency marketing campaigns. And then, of course, late spring, early summer of this year will be the 15th anniversary of the overall Meak Productions conception. So it's just going over this historic milestone, man, and the part that you play in it. It's just very wonderful, because you had me thinking about stuff I wasn't even thinking about talking about. And I just love the fact that you have some of those details and stuff like that. It was just very remarkable and stuff. It's just so wonderful just to go down, and because it kind of makes you remember your struggles and help you to appreciate what you've learned from them. You know what I'm saying? Over the years, you know, to realize how far you've come.
So, I mean, when I look at Meak Productions, I mean, even looking at it now, back then, there were more, like, we got the signature campaigns that are out with new campaigns, and there were some campaigns that were shelved and put on hiatus. Like, I remember the Women of Meak Productions campaign that you did back in '09. And you did that campaign, then you had Talent the Month, and there was Talent the Quarter, and there was Talent of the Year. So to see now that you still got the Winter Valentine's, which I remember that was very appropriate back in 2011 when we was in the ice storm. So to look at talents who were in there, and I remember the one thing you always said with these campaigns was, I want to have my own photographers, I want to bring talents here, because before, you had talent submitting their own photos, and unfortunately that brought up a little funny business with people who,
because see, we didn't know, we didn't know what type of deal they had with the photographers, and we did not know that, you know, some folks, you know, they might have got the hookup on the low. With the photography and stuff like that, and so we thinking that they had permission to use some of these photos and stuff like that.
They photos doing other things.
You know what I'm saying? So we didn't even know about that and stuff. But we always made sure that when we did our marketing campaigns through graphic design, through the OKM Designs brand under my other company, we always make sure that the talents, when they submitted their photos, please make sure that the credit of the ones that took the photos is with the submission, so that we can make sure that we give everybody proper credit. You know, once we do the design credits, we give the photographer credits at the bottom as well. So we always make sure that we did that, so that on our end, from a legal perspective and an artistic copyright perspective, that we was able to be protected. So and so it's like, once again, it is amazing how things have changed and evolved from that, because we was able to get our first quote in-house photographer historically did not happen until really in 2016. That's when we actually had a chance to bring on board DeAndre Lamons from Visuals by Dre. And of course, we'll get into that once we talk more about each campaign, because our 9th year of campaigns last year was really, really remarkable, because we was able to take things up a notch You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm really excited to talk about each one, as well as some of the things that we did with incorporated campaigns, such as, you know, nightlife, suit and tie, black and white, how we had to actually do some things uniquely different, but we always wanted to do it in that fashion. You know what I'm saying? Because I know we didn't get a chance to do it on this anniversary date, which is normally in May, closer to Memorial Day weekend. So we had to end up switching the date with that, but I'm glad that we did, because we had a chance to bring in new corporate sponsors and small business sponsors along, you know, in the forefront with that campaign and stuff. So that was real awesome.
And that was something else you always envisioned too with these campaigns, that there would be sponsors by corporations and smaller businesses where the talents could see some residuals from that. Because I always remember in previous interviews you've done, not only with us, but with other media outlets, with Meak Productions, was we knew we was a new agency at the time. So therefore we could not go to these major companies, and we had to get you out there. Then also too, I realized most of my talents were relatively unknown themselves. So I had to think of something that could get both of us out there at the same time, that could capture audience's attentions, and then I could be able to say, okay, you see these faces, now let's talk about some opportunities to where it's not just exposure only. I can't take somebody off their job to take them to another city just for exposure only.
You know what, and it's, another thing I like about this is because now those talents that are actually looking at this particular series, they can now understand that I haven't just been talking out of my head. They see that I had witnesses, and that's why it felt real good to have you there with me during the time of our growing pains. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a real struggle. Being born and raised in the Confederate South, trying to start the world's first LGBT exclusive talent agency, that was a huge challenge alone. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't real easy, because even though I'm born and raised in Atlanta, having to do something within the LGBT community here, and though people kind of knew me, but they didn't know Meak Productions. So it was almost like getting to know me all over again. So I had to go through that whole spell of actually, you know, starting from scratch. You see what I'm saying? You know, even though at that time when Meak Productions was actually coming more to the forefront, my other business was kind of getting slow. It was almost like I had to, you know, start in another new business again. You know what I'm saying? And they like start birthing a new baby again. So yeah, I mean, when I think about all of that, you know, it really helps you to appreciate more of why, you know, of where things are right now.
And going back down memory lane, especially with two anniversaries, one celebration, the theme of this year, there was a lot of people that came and go. There was a lot of people who didn't get the vision. And what the things about the Meak Productions brand, you had to be an out talent. And that was relatively unheard of at the time. Because with general public casting and talent agencies, you were artists who happened to be gay, but they didn't know that. Unless we just happened to find out through other means or what have you. But that was a requirement because this is LGBT. So you could not be in the closet and say you want to be with us, because that's just not how we do things here. So I mean,
and once again, you know, coming from a heterosexual black male who saw me struggle, who saw me go through and saw the real deal, because you was actually one of the ones that was behind the scenes that actually saw the stuff unfolding, you know what I'm saying, both the good, the bad, the pretty, and the ugly. And so it's, once again, thank you so much for being here. And because it's almost like you my witness.